When News at 10 first broadcast pictures of a Palestinian man in a group carrying a white flag in Gaza who was shot dead, the Israeli military told us it was not aware of the incident. It then said we had edited the pictures. Those pictures last week prompted accusations of an Israeli war crime from around the world. Now an Israeli general has come close to owning up, saying his troops were in the area and there are mistakes. This is war, he said.
The funeral of a husband and a father. A Palestinian civilian shot dead under a white flag and with his hands up. Ramzi Abu Salul was killed in southern Gaza on Monday of last week. He was one of 5 men waiting to see if Israeli soldiers positioned a few hundred meters away would let them cross battle lines to rescue relatives. A cameraman working for ITV News interviewed Mr. Abu Salul about his intentions. Then, just a few seconds later, fearful for his own safety, the cameraman stopped filming as he ran, but resumed a few seconds later. The IDF used this pause in filming to raise doubts. The video is clearly edited, they said in a statement. ITV News has now obtained another video of the shooting, and this recording is continuous. There are no breaks or edits. Here, the 2 videos are synchronized, and it's clear there was no interference or trickery during the 5-second pause in the original recording aired by ITV News. Just after the shooting, our cameraman in the pale blue protective gear shouted, "The tank fired! The tank fired!" Here you can make out the tanks to which he referred. The gunfire came from more than one weapon. In this footage, a bullet strikes the wall just above the men's heads. We showed our material to a ballistics expert who concluded after acoustics analysis that the gunfire, which continued, came from the direction of the tanks. Our cameraman is in no doubt.
While I was trying to film, I noticed many military vehicles. I kept glancing back and forth between the vehicles and the group of men. I noticed a laser beam coming from the direction of the tank. Then I heard sniper fire.
The American network ABC News was among the international broadcasters who aired our story.
The cameraman of our partner network, ITV.
ABC were taken into Khan Yunis by the IDF at the weekend, and they asked the commander of Israeli forces in southern Gaza about the shooting of Mr. Abu Salul. The Brigadier General was forthright.
Your area of operation, waving a white flag.
Oh, you're talking about that incident?
Yeah, that incident.
We're investigating that incident.
A man holding a white flag,
yes,
unarmed, shot dead.
I'm investigating.
Those are your troops?
Yes, yes, those are my troops, and I'm investigating that incident. That is not the way we carry out our rules of engagement. No, we don't fire at people waving white flags. We don't fire at civilians.
But you do sometimes.
We don't. Every incident that is a mistake, and there are mistakes. We are not perfect. We are in a combat zone under great threat to our people. We investigate every mistake that is done.
Asked for a comment about this interview, the IDF press office said the Brigadier General meant that his men were in the vicinity at the time and that the incident was being looked into.
So, John, a significant development. Could there be any repercussions, do you think?
Good evening, Julie. This may constitute a war crime, but will it ever be a proven one? I very much doubt it. That would necessitate matching the bullet in the dead man's chest with the gun that fired it and finding who pulled the trigger. Now, the Brigadier General says there will be an investigation, but the results may well prove inconclusive. And even if they do find that Israeli soldiers were responsible, it's unlikely any action will be taken. After all, no action has been taken against the Israeli soldiers that were definitely responsible for what is, from Israel's point of view, the most heartbreaking of these white flag incidents. Back in December, 3 Israeli hostages who managed to extricate themselves from the clutches of Hamas were shot dead by Israeli soldiers while waving a white flag. Now, there have been no disciplinary procedures taken against those soldiers. I think one of the consequences of something like the shooting of Mr. Salul is it makes Israel's allies increasingly uncomfortable. The Americans and the British have talked repeatedly about the great loss of innocent lives in this war, and that's why the push for another ceasefire is gathering pace. Apparently, we're closer to another ceasefire, Julie, than we've ever been since the last one collapsed, back in November. Now, mediators know that the most welcome benefit of another ceasefire would be saving innocent lives, including those of the Israeli hostages still in Gaza tonight.
John, thank you very much indeed for that.